I hit the I hit the start button. Good morning. How are you? Yeah, we got a new view today. We moved the table and everything around, so y'all are seeing my dirty old staircase. And Timmy's fixing his coffee, so we'll be with you in just a moment. If this is your first time joining us, I'm Amber. Let me adjust the computer screen. There he is.
Hello,
And Timmy,
I'm
and we're
Tim.
two of the five Bradshaw family members that moved from the city, left everything behind, and moved off grid here in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. So, good morning. How are you? This is nothing scripted. We rarely talk about ahead of time what we're going to talk about, and we're just having coffee with friends. So, if you just want to grab a cup of Joe, tea, whatever your morning beverage, and just chit chat with us. We welcome you. Good morning, Sherry. How are you, sweetheart? I think it's Sherry. Yes, it's Sherry. Good morning. You show up as an S green dot. That I can see. Can't ever see your chat. Why are you so far over? There we go. There we go. And it's dark this morning here in the Smokies. We got cloud cover. Is it supposed to rain today? Sherry, is it supposed to rain today? Uh,
We might get a spot.
So we don't have any natural light coming through. So we've got this big like camera light type thing just blasting us in our eyeballs. You can probably see every wrinkle we got going on. So good morning. It's been a busy week. I feel exhausted.
I know you're mentally exhausted.
I'm mentally exhausted. I'm mentally exhausted. I got a lot going on. I'm mentally. What about y'all? Are you the same way? And I just told him this morning. I said, I feel like just this, and it's not a weight like, well, I'm sure there's spiritual weights and financial weights and all that kind of stuff on me, but I feel like an actual physical weight on my body right now. Like I'm just weighed down, and I need to not be. I think I probably need some grounding to go outside and get some grounding,
Hmm.
you know, reconnect. Speaking of connection and grounding,
Hey.
let me tell you what we did this week.
What do we do?
I was a human battery with a Tesla thingy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had sludge removed
Yeah.
from your
Ooh.
feet.
Yeah.
So,
We won't go into that too
good
much.
morning. How are you, honey? So this week, yeah, we will. Why not? I'm going into it. We have now. We do support Western medicine to a degree. And of course, y'all know if you've been following us, I had knee replacement surgery last year, the year before I had surgery. So it's not I mean, we believe in going to the doctors when there's a need, but we also believe in number one, the power of God and healing, that He gives everybody knowledge and information to use. And He also gives you a discerning spirit. And so my go-to is more of the natural holistic approach than Western medicine. But I also know when a Western medicine fails you, then you need to seek other alternatives. And that's kind of where we did that full gamut circle. We did the holistic approach, then we went to Western medicine. Now we're back at the holistic approach for just the things that ail us. Uh,
I think a lot with the holistic is just prevention and
Absolutely.
just, you know,
Yeah, if you take care of your
a
body
life, a
first.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the truth. And we've been guilty of that, eating junk, what they call it, the SAD, standard American diet, SAD. But anyhow, long story short, is we've been going to a wellness clinic with a holistic doctor and her staff, and it's been a really interesting experience to say the least. And they don't do prescriptions; they do like whole food nutritional supplements. So it's all food. Like for instance, one of the supplements Timmy is taking is black Spanish radish, and one of the supplements I'm taking is cayenne pepper. So it's that type of thing. Wait a minute. Not supposed to. It's going to be warm today. This time change is messing with us. It is messing with us. And not only that, we're going in from really warm weather. We wore short sleeve shirts yesterday and 70 something degrees, just going to be 31, and we need to chop some more wood for the kitchen stove. And that messes with your immune system. It's that up and down that your body has to regulate its core temperature, and it just makes you susceptible. But yeah, junk food. And junk food's addictive for a reason. But so I want to get off of this, but I want to finish the conversation. We went to this wellness clinic this week, and it was a long ordeal. We actually took our daughter Morgan for her birthday. She turned 23 on the 6th, but we couldn't get together until Wednesday. And that was what she wanted. And a friend of ours, this clinic came highly recommended from some members at church. And so we went and we told her about it. And then for her birthday, we gave her options of what she wanted. And we gave her all the options of things that she normally loves. And we were really happy about
Yeah.
that. And so we had our follow-up and we booked Morgan her first appointment, but they also offer other services. And one of them is like a sauna treatment. They have kind of like chiropractic, but not the bone popping and stuff. That guy wasn't there. That's what you're doing next. They had a foot detox, which he did, and then the Tesla treatment, which what I did. And tell them about your foot treatment. You didn't believe it was going to work, did you? What they do?
Well,
First, they do what?
they have a pan of warm water, and they have
It's like a foot bath, just like you buy at Walmart or something. Good.
yeah, it's ion with salt, salt water, and the
Ionizer.
ionizer. When they
Mhm.
turn it on, it starts working, and then you take your shoes and socks off, put your feet in there, and it takes about a half an
Let's
hour.
see if I've got that chart.
Anyway, the water will turn. It starts drawing stuff out of your feet because your feet are, how do you say that, hon? Or
You
your,
figure you have the biggest pores in your body.
yeah.
And if you've ever seen where they say to, hang on, let me see if I can do it. Here we go. Wait, I always do this wrong. Do y'all see that? There's Timmy in the office soaking his feet. And I don't know if you've seen it or if you've heard it. I grew up where you sick, you put Vicks on your feet and you cover your feet with socks and they'll pull the cold out your feet when you're a kid. Or you put onions on your feet and wrap them up, and in the morning, the baby's breath or what have you would smell like onion or garlic, and it just cures what ails you. Is that type of thing. Well, let me show you all the chart. Go ahead.
Anyway, about 10 minutes into it,
See the color chart,
I noticed the water started turning color. And
and they don't put nothing in it.
no, they
Yeah,
don't.
they don't
No,
put
it's
nothing in
just
it.
it's salt water with the ionizer. And at the end, I looked down at this water, and I know you all know what rusty water looks like. And it had a film across the top. It's almost like a sheen. Anyway,
That's not what he called it that day.
yeah,
He said nasty taco grease.
it was pretty gross.
How did you feel
I
afterwards,
couldn't.
though?
Yeah, I was all tingly, and you know, I had a little Sprite in my step. Anyway,
Little pep in a
it
step.
was uh, it was pretty gross.
But he's a believer now,
It's
y'all.
amazing to see something
So
like
many
that come out
toxins
of
come
your
out your
body.
body and
Yeah,
heavy metals and everything else.
yeah.
And we're exposed to so much that it's good. I mean, you got to be careful with detox. Just like if you go to get a deep tissue massage and you've never had one, and they release all those toxins in your lymph nodes, you'll feel like you have the flu the next day. You didn't catch nothing, you releasing stuff. And we're not educated about doing that enough or about self-care. We're just, they want to keep us sick for a reason, y'all. A lot of money in sick care. But anyhow, I became a human battery. And it was this Tesla treatment, and they had, I was laid on the table and they had one end that had like a battery. You ever see where you plug in your battery? One end's got the little spring and the other end's got the little piece of metal.
Anyway,
They put me in the middle.
they put her in the middle of an electric field.
And it was so funny. The
Mm.
assistant came in and she had a 4 foot fluorescent light bulb when I was laying there. She was, just in case you don't feel anything, you don't think nothing's going on, I want to show you. And I'm laying there and she grabbed the light bulb off the counter and brought it to me. And that whole joker lit up without just being in her hands without touching. And it was pretty cool. But anyhow, needless to say, and it was a good experience, and we're going to continue doing it because it makes us feel better. So there you go. But anyhow, we went to our prepper group meeting last week, y'all. We discussed that a little bit, right? And we go once a month. Sherry's joining us. Our friend Linda's joining us now. The group is growing. People are wanting to know. Another friend, Scott, is joining us, and his son, which is it's wonderful because these are like-minded members of our community. We've met online, all of us. We got together in real life, and now we're a part of this group in sharing knowledge and information. And we also have, I've talked to you guys before about our Mighty Network group. It has exploded lately, and it's exploded because other social media networks are censoring. And of course, the closer we'll get to the election, the more they'll censor. The Supreme Court just announced, did y'all see it? They just announced that, I can't let's see. They just announced that they could be sued for censoring us about political, thoughts, process, events, because that impedes our freedom of speech. Not Facebook itself, but those that are government funded sites, accounts. For instance, say your local governor has a social media page and you go on it stating your political view with, being proper, not cussing them out. And they censor that. They can get sued. I love that because that means that it's hopefully the dominoes will fall and everybody that has censored us over the last 4 years, it'll come under the same thing. I don't think I saved that information, but I can find it. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But in our group it's exploded because they've been censored and all of these amazing members have joined. I was discussing with Timmy this morning how uh, we feel like we need to be an expert on everything in order to share our knowledge. And that's just such a huge falsehood. And I'm not quite sure where it started. For instance, I teach classes. I have for several years. I've asked other people to teach, or I've told them, hey, you can do this to make money. Oh, no, no, no. I don't know enough about that. And I'm like, that's crazy. You do great at it. Whatever it is, sewing, canning, gardening, cooking, whatever their skill is. And I see it in them. And they're like, oh, no, I could never do that. I don't know enough. Says who? And I feel like the internet has made everybody feel like they need to be this massive, all-knowing eyes, an expert in every aspect in order to share with others, which is a falsehood.
Hmm.
Do you?
Well, I mean, all that information is not always true, but I mean, you
Well,
have
that's
to,
yeah. That's something on the other spectrum of it. I
yeah.
mean, there are two sides to that coin because then you have those
Hmm.
internet warriors that just don't have any practical experience whatsoever. Everything they learn is on a keyboard, and then they go just spewing false knowledge.
Yeah.
And I mean, we actually have one in our lives like that. And oh, he's an expert on everything, everything. And I said, well, have you ever done it? Because I mean, seriously, he's so knowledgeable. I feel like, oh, okay, he's been doing this for years. No,
Never.
I hadn't yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
then you
I
just
don't see that person.
no, you want to walk away
Yeah.
from that person.
Yeah.
But the problem with being an expert is you can't know it all. First of all, you can never know it all. And then you get to one, it's pride for that. But then you get to that point that you feel like you can't ever ask a question because you're supposed to be the expert. So then your learning stops. Like, for instance, I wrote all these books. I got a best-selling beekeeping book, Beekeeping for Beginners. Well, shoot, I got a best-selling beekeeping book. That makes me the expert, right? I should know everything. I don't. I don't know everything. I fail all the time with beekeeping. I know, but I shared what I know. Same thing about the chicken book and the goat book. I shared what I know. That doesn't make me an expert, but it does make me intimidated to ask others for knowledge and information
Yeah.
because I don't want anybody looking at me. It's like, why are you asking that question? You're supposed to be the expert. Oh, I guess you're a fake.
I see what you're saying.
And so I get intimidated by seeking knowledge. But then I started asking my husband, I'm like, is that just pride? Think so?
I guess it is. I mean,
Well, we all feel like we need to be this expert. So if we're supposed to be an expert because we're writing about it or we're sharing about it, first, that's a falsehood. You don't need to be an expert, but you should never be so prideful that you can't seek more knowledge. And because if you don't, I mean, how are you ever going to grow if you don't seek more knowledge? And we don't need to be an expert to share what we know. And I think that's what's preventing us too from helping encourage others is because our pride. We don't want to share what we know. Or you got that other token. But it's like, oh, I don't want to share. Me and you talked about this week. Homesteaders are funny. Homestead bloggers, not just the true everyday homesteader and farmer, but the homestead bloggers are funny. They don't want to share nothing. I mean, they do with their public about articles, but their secrets and the way they did something or how they became a success, they don't want to share that because for whatever reason, they feel that there's only enough room at the top of succeeding for them. And if they share that knowledge, there's going to be too much competition,
mm,
which is sad.
well,
No, but that part about we started going to the prepper meeting to talk about what we talked about this morning. What did you get? Do you still even know that first day? Timmy, they do this raffle there, and Timmy won something, and it had to do with the AR. We didn't even know what it was because we don't have an AR, or didn't, and we didn't know anything about it. But we were too embarrassed to speak up because we're off-grid homesteaders with TV shows and books, and we're supposed to be the experts. So we didn't say anything.
we can tell you what not to do because we've been there.
And pretty much done everything
But
what not to do.
yeah,
Which I guess there's some wiggle room for more mistakes in the future.
yeah. I mean, when I hear AR, I'm like, well, it's two letters in the alphabet. I don't know, but I got a handle.
So, and we're scared to ask out. We're scared to ask for help because either, again, pride. It's pride. You can say you're embarrassed. You can say this. It all boils down to that root pride. And what does the Bible have to say about pride? In the theological sense, pride is defined as an excessive love of one's own excellence. As a deadly sin, pride, a deadly sin.
Yeah.
Pride is believed to generate other sins and further immoral behavior and is countered by the heavenly virtue of humility, which we all lack. And it's defined as excessive love of one's own actions, believed to lead to other sins that alienate you from God.
Hmm.
And it makes you, and also that pride of not wanting to seek knowledge or feeling the need to be an expert in a field before you can share with, that alienates you not just from God, but from other people as well. And I'm tired of feeling the need to be an expert in everything. It's exhaustive, you know. It's exhaustive. And I feel bad for those that want to homestead, feeling that they have to be an expert at milking a cow and growing all your own food and preserving a year's worth of food before they even dip a toe into these old timey skills that we should be sharing and encouraging.
Yeah, it keeps us from doing the things that we should be doing. I mean, it, you know, it's like,
And it becomes overwhelming. And that's great. And I think all of us, and we're preaching to ourselves. We need to show we need to be transparent. We need to show that we're not perfect. We need to show that we need each other, that we're not experts, that we don't know it all. that, we're still seeking knowledge, that we'll never reach that all the just like in our walk with God, you can read your Bible every single day, you can study it all of your waking hours. You will never, ever know it all. You'll never get to that point. You'll have a better relationship with God. You'll be a happier person, but you will never reach that. Okay, I'm done. Take me, Lord. I know it all. And you're never going to reach it, which is, I think, is also pretty cool because there's always something to learn.
Oh yeah,
You know?
and I mean a scripture in the Bible that applies today may apply different in later on in
Oh,
your life
absolutely.
when it's just according to the situation that you're in and what you're
Absolutely.
dealing with. So
And when you're dealing with this on the homesteading realm, you're working with nature. Nature changes daily,
yeah,
daily. And so even when you think you've got something licked, they, nature will show you that you don't have a clue. You're just barely scratching the surface. So I think there's definitely people out there that are knowledgeable in their field, and they don't know it all. And they're sharing that knowledge. You want to gravitate to them, but don't feel like you need to be an expert in something in order to share that information. And don't ever get so prideful that you aren't willing to say, "Hey, I don't know it all. I know I'm doing this. It's by the skin of my teeth, by the grace of God. I can share what I know, but I certainly don't know it all." Don't ever get so prideful that you don't want to ask others for questions, even if it's a newbie. Just because someone's only been doing it for a short period of time doesn't mean that they don't have something to share with an expert who's been doing it for 20 years.
yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I'm not the type of person that is going to tell you how you need to do something. I mean, I'll give you what we used to call when I worked on the tugs is local knowledge. And anytime you can get local knowledge from some people who have lived in that area or have experienced all the seasons and well, I had to chop 5 cords of wood to get through last winter, and this winter we only burnt 2 cords of wood.
Wait,
And
is that true? I mean, not about 5 cords. Do we only go through 2 cords of wood this year?
oh, I don't know.
I
I'm
know you're hypothetically speaking. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
but I mean, it's just
There's a lot to be said for that. And like so and you think about the youth today too. They all know it all. And we did when we were that age. Just that ain't nothing new. We
we
keep
just
thinking
thought we
it's
knew
new.
we
Yeah,
all.
we thought we knew it all. But get this sense of pride that they don't want to ask their elders for guidance or help because they have been trained that when they turn 18, they go on their own. They're supposed to know it all, which is toxic thinking. They need their family, they need their community, they need their elders in their life to continue to guide them. Yes, they earn more responsibility, but we shouldn't be cutting our youth off at 18 and tell them to go fend for themselves. It's ridiculous. But we've pounded that in their brains so much that they get to that point that they just, well, I'm not asking for help. I'm supposed to know it all.
Yeah,
You know?
I know. I think this is very important in life, and that you're blessed if it happens to you. Is when you're young, I know we think we know it all, but when we get older, at that point, if you realize back when you were younger that you really didn't know anything at all, then you've taken something away with it.
But we don't get to that until we're like
We
our
don't, and
age.
but I'm here, and I'm saying right now that I didn't know nothing. I thought I knew it,
We all can say that.
and
Yeah.
here I am now, and it's a struggle. And I appreciate the like-minded people that we've surrounded ourselves with, or God's people put in our lives to get us through these times, because I've lived at the beach all my life, and I've had warm weather, and
But now you
it's
learning new
been it's
stuff.
been easy. We've had utilities that we can just turn on, and
We're constantly
everything
learning.
is, and now it's survival, really.
I think one of the other things that brought to mind about our topic this morning is earlier this week we were asked by one of the people that we worked with over the past couple of years. We did some books for him and like a TV commercial, infomercial, and he reached out and asked if we would be willing to do a series on solar. He goes, "Well, how well do you know solar?" And I said, "Well, we live off of it and we installed it ourselves, and I'm not quite sure what else you want me to know." And he goes, "Well, I want you to be an expert and teach on solar and how to build your own solar array." And we're both like, and then he never gave any more details. And he says, "Well, whatever you don't know, just YouTube it, learn the information, and then you can do your own video." And then that was the end of the conversation. We never heard any more back. And I said, "Timmy, how comfortable are you with solar?
Well,
You got to be an expert."
this is how comfortable I am with solar. Is we bought a solar system.
Mm-hmm.
It came with installation instructions.
Uh-huh.
I read those instructions and I was able to put it and make it work. So
That's it.
yeah. If it wasn't for those
Instructions. And a really good customer service rep. Got to give a
Yeah.
shout out to him because he
Yeah.
walked Timmy through it about 3 times. Um, Good morning, honey. How are you? Actually, I just mailed your loofah seeds yesterday, Christine. Just wanted to let you know. So they went out in the mail. Oh, I think yesterday the mail already ran, so it won't be till Monday morning. But anyhow, um, so they're I just wanted to give you a heads up. You'll be getting them next week. But yeah, and as far as I completely lost thought because we were talking about becoming a homesteading expert. Oh, what is that rule, y'all? They said in order to be an expert at something, you need to do it X amount of hours per day for so many days. But I want to say you have to invest 10,000 hours into something to master it. I think.
5 years.
Is it 5 years or are you just making that up?
I think 5.
Speaking of
5 years is good. That's long enough. If you do it an hour or two each day for 5 years, you should be pretty well.
If you doing everything, something for 1 to 2 hours a day every day for 5 years, and you don't know what you're doing at the end of the 5 years,
There
you need
you
to pick
go.
up something else.
That's right. I'm throwing that out.
I know, but the point
Put the time
is,
in.
y'all, don't ever get so full of yourself or so complacent that you're not willing to say that you don't know it all and ask other people. Don't ever also put that pressure on yourself that I'm supposed to be an expert. So I'm not going to show my vulnerability and transparency and let others know I don't know it all. Because one, that's prideful and it's a sin and it's going to hurt your walk with Christ. Two, it's going to alienate you from others that have probably a lot of information to share with you. And three, it's going to give a sense of falsehood to those that don't know to try it or even share with others because they're going to feel like they need to know it all before they share their wisdom. And on the opposite side of that too, if you're just learning something, don't share misinformation. Don't go sit there and make it cat.
That's very true because you could harm somebody in the process.
Yes.
You don't know. It's just that situation that they're in, and you're trying to give them information, and you're like, well, I know this for a fact, and then they end up getting hurt.
Especially if it's medical advice, I am going to jump on that wagon because that's why the natural world has come under the microscope and so much scrutiny. You got all these people out there selling oils and everything else, trying to tell other people, give them medical advice. Well, they probably do have a lot more hours in natural remedies than most medical professionals. It's still not good to be somebody else's physician. You just take on too much liability.
Yeah.
You can share what you've done for you. Like, for instance, let me see it right back here. I got our kombucha over here. And I can say, oh, it's helped replace our gut biome. It's helped, balance out our gut flora and bacteria. And it's helped cured my gout. I can say all these things because it's for me personally. But I'm not going to tell you how to take it.
No.
So you just I'll share with you. If you come to me and say, hey, how do I make kombucha? I'll share with you my knowledge, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to, take it medicinally or anything.
Yeah. I would never say, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. You might not get that phone call.
Anyhow, you just sit there and wait for dad jokes, don't you? But the other thing is, and never be scared to, to seek others'
Mm.
knowledge. Don't be in a room of crowded people where they seem like they're so knowledgeable on everything that you feel stupid asking a question. Where they say no question is stupid, because whoever it is that's speaking that impresses you, they started somewhere. They didn't just hop out of their mama with all that knowledge. They learned it somewhere. Everybody has been a beginner. Everybody. And just be careful of who you listen to too. So all these so-called experts out there, I have so many people sharing articles with me. Hey, you should check out this. And me knowing for a fact, because they're a fellow blogger or writer or an author or whatever, knowing for a fact that they don't have experience in said topic, that they just are really good at online research,
Oh
I've got
yeah,
to bite my lip a lot.
especially with AI now. I
Oh
mean,
gosh, let's not get
there's no
started.
telling what you're gonna get.
Let's not get started. Yeah. So you want to, and if you're listening to somebody and they sound really good, start asking them, how long have you been doing this? Where did you learn it? I mean, not in a disrespectful way, but pick at them. You shouldn't
Yeah,
just believe anything blindly because it falls in line with what you want to believe in.
yeah.
And the same goes for preachers too, but we'll discuss that some other time.
Well, ours always tells us to do your own research, and
That's
I
so
think
important.
that's very important.
Yep. And everything. I can tell you, hey guys, this is how to make this candle and da 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 da. Because candles are toxic and they're they mess with your cognitive function and they mess with your allergies. You can say, yeah, I believe
Mm.
that. But do your own research. I mean, I know that was lame, but the candle was in front of me. So I figured, by the way, this isn't a real candle. It's a fakey. See? 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 Um, it's just a little light in it. But that's just an example. What? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, that's all I'm
So what do
ready.
you feel like you're an expert in?
Uh, Making mistakes.
We all. What about y'all? Is there anything that you guys that feel that you're an expert in? And it's okay to say it. I mean, that's another thing too, don't say, oh, I don't want to tell anybody. I'm not good at doing that.
Well, I have to say I have tried a lot of things, and
What's they say, jack of all trade, master of
some of
none?
it's been on my own, and some of it's advice from others. And there's certain things that work, and there's certain things that doesn't work. So it's really, you know,
I said, well, there's
just
another saying, y'all, and I can't remember. Maybe you guys do about, you know, you in order to be an expert at something or good at something, you have to fail so many times beforehand. That's definitely me. I fail and fail and fail and fail and fail until I figure out what works. Jack of all trades and master of none here. Ain't that you and me both? I said that yesterday because a friend of mine, Joanne, she goes, you just like learning new stuff, don't you? I said, yeah. I said, that's kind of a fault of mine too, because I'm like educational or interest ADD. I'm like, oh, let's start this squirrel. Oh, let's start this squirrel. Ooh. That's why our house is never finished. We're bad for each other about that. And we just had the discussion yesterday. I said, no more discussing new ideas until we wrap up some of these old ones. And maybe we'll talk about that next week because we're already moving a new kitchen, putting in new windows. Oh my stars.
yeah.
Y'all have that too, don't you? At your home, you have a bunch of unfinished projects. Is it because you don't have the drive to finish them, or is it because you start one and then something else pops up? Because that's where we are. We start one and something else pops up. And typically it's me and him having coffee in the morning, discussing all
Yeah,
the stuff we want to do.
yeah. I think sometimes it's a spring thing. When spring
Oh, you're
hits,
excited.
and yeah, and it gets your mind working, and you're like, oh, I'd really like to have this, and it's
You just don't have the energy or the money to go with those ideas. We got to get going,
mm,
y'all. We've got some friends coming over today. We're really excited about that. We'll talk to you about it next week because we never really have visitors here other than family. It's very, very rare. We got another visitor coming this week. Somebody that we met in our group, never met her in person, going to come stay with us the evening. on the way to Florida. I'm really looking to having fellowship with her because she's a fellow homesteader, has been in our groups for a long time. Maybe we'll do a little impromptu live so y'all can meet her. I'm excited. Um, but you can tell the excitement on Timmy's face. Honey, if you're watching, it's nothing against you. It's just all the things I've already told them to make them do to in order to accept our new visitor, that to make it a little comfortable for her when she comes here.
Yeah. I'll be back here in the middle, and
Yeah, you're not going to be one because she talks just like I do.
oh really?
Yeah.
I won't get a word in
Mm-mm.
because I don't have but two.
All right, y'all. Have a blessed Saturday. We'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. I need some warm coffee.